Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gamers Den podcast. I'm your co-host RelayTS, and alongside me, crenbeast. Cren, we made it to episode 3. What do we have in store today? What news? Anything about the gaming scene, Fortnite scene? Obviously, chapter 3 coming up, and all that stuff.
Episode 3. Never thought we'd get here, but here we are. Yeah, so today, again, we're going to discuss chapter 3. I think that's something on most people's minds. We need to get into it. Nothing necessarily news coming out, but a lot of rumors that we need to discuss, we need to go over. Then we're going to be taking some people's questions. There's some pretty cool questions, pretty unique questions. And guys, if you want to get your question asked, make sure to comment, tweet at us at RelayTS or at crenbeast or at the GamersDen_podcast. Let us know. We'll shout you out and we'll go over your question. But then other than that, there's a couple of things in the esports community and space that we need to kind of touch on. But first things first, let's go into a couple of these questions because they are pretty good. So first question pertains to chapter 3. So the question was, if they nail chapter 3 of Fortnite, do you think Fortnite could become a conversation in the public eye once again? I'm going to let you take over because that's interesting. And I think we're going to be on the same page here.
Yeah, and I think we can both agree. If they nail chapter 3 and, we have the same definition of, nail chapter 3, yeah, 100% it can be in the public eye again, especially if World Cup 2022 is, happening. I mean, I remember when World Cup, the first World Cup happened and it was in our local newspaper, If World Cup happens 100%, even if it doesn't happen, or if it does and it's not that big, I think Fortnite definitely has the potential to, be in the public eye again. If they nail it, and when we say nail it, they have to basically go back to their old ways where they were doing frequent map changes, updates, all that stuff. And the whole world's talking about it. Friends are going to school talking about Fortnite, the new update. People are getting up at 4 a.m., before school playing the new season, stuff like that. So if they can nail it, I don't see any, there's no doubt in my mind that this can be in the public eye once again. But obviously right now it is not whatsoever. So they're going to have to actually perfectly nail this right. They have to do everything right.
Yep. Agreed. And look, when chapter 3 is released, especially if it is released in early December, me and you both think it is, in my opinion, it's a very slim to none chance that it's not going to be chapter 3. So let's just, for the case of this argument, let's just assume it's chapter 3 in December. It's going to be big pretty much no matter what right off the bat. If they release a new map, if it's chapter 3 on the same map, then that's a whole other conversation. Yeah. This is probably going to be one of our last episodes if that's the case.
Yeah.
If we go into a chapter 3 with the same map. But so it's going to be big. It's going to be big because it's around Christmas. They're going to probably do their snow covered theme. It's going to bring people back at least for a little bit. When we say they have to nail it, what we mean is the weeks following it. First off, yes, they have to nail the map. They have to do something cool. They have to do something different. It's got to be fresh. I think that innately comes with the concept of having a new map. But within a few weeks, there has to be updates. There has to be changes. There has to be new items, new mechanics, which we both think there will be. But they have to continue to do that
for months. They have to do it. They have to do it. Months after the chapter releases. They can't just 2 weeks do it and then stop. It has to be for the whole entire chapter.
Yeah, it has to, because what made Fortnite, everyone acts like Fortnite became a sensation overnight. Yes and no, because when Fortnite came out in September of 2017, people played it. It was a cool concept. There's that infamous clip of Nick A30, very different people. Nick A30, what game is this? It's called Fortnite. It's free. That clip is always going to be one of the most pure clips in all of gaming. But Fortnite at that point wasn't just a massive sensation as the following spring in 2018. And that's because during those months, it was weekly, bi-weekly, and especially monthly updates, changing the map, changing the game, introducing things like shockwaves, shopping carts, quad crashers, just freaking boom, thing after thing after thing. And now, when's the last time a new game-breaking thing was introduced?
You know what it reminds me of?
The shock.
Sorry to interrupt you, but this reminds me of when a streamer hits big and then they take breaks. That's what it reminds me of. This is like when, a streamer is streaming 15 hours a day for 2 years straight, doing everything they can, posting on all socials, weekly uploads on YouTube, everything. And then whenever they hit big, they just slowly start to fall off, take, long extended breaks, all this stuff. And then, eventually, maybe they fall off, maybe they come back. But it reminds me of that because Epic Games, like you said, I mean, they were on a grind. Like they grinded throughout, the first year or two in Fortnite. Every single week, or at least every 2 weeks, we saw something new. We saw something different. Everyone was talking about it, shopping carts, even little stuff like that. Like that isn't even a huge thing, but that's a little thing. Balloons, stuff like people see balloons like, oh, this is interesting. Let me hop on and see what these balloons are about. Like they thought of every item they could bring on and they grinded for a solid 2 years. And then, obviously they took a break and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, it reminds me of, a content creator grinding and then, eventually taking breaks and stuff. That's what Epic Games reminds you of right now.
Yep. And look, needless to say, they need to nail it. They need to bring some of these people back. Speaking of, so recently Cypher PK did a YouTube video talking about the likelihood of certain creators coming back to Fortnite that either blew up on Fortnite or were big on Fortnite. Not all of them actually blew up on Fortnite. They were big before Fortnite, whatever. But let's kind of jump into that. In your opinion, who are some creators that could come back to Fortnite once with the release of Chapter 3?
Well, I'm glad you're asking me because obviously you know who I'm going to say, but there's also a few others that I'm going to say as well. First of all, I want to start it out with, if you're expecting Ceeday and Fearless, I would not expect anything over maybe one video. And that's like with Ceeday, I'm only expecting one video and that's it. And it's going to be him bashing the game if Chapter 3 is bad. But with Fearless, I could see maybe a few videos in the first 2 months and then slowly going off. But if you're expecting them two back, I don't think that's going to happen. I would not be expecting it. But I think one of the people I was going to say is I think Aiden might return and try to give Fortnite a real chance on the competitive side. I could see Aiden coming back to the competitive side of gaming because he got on late game arena every once in a while, and you don't just do that just because you want to hop on a random game mode in Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to sharpen up his skills, maybe preparing for a Chapter 3 Fortnite Aiden return, stuff like that. And I think we're gonna see people like Nick Merckx return almost fully. I think we're gonna see Dr. Lupo play for a few weeks. Same with Courage JD and Tim Tatman. I think all three of those guys will probably return for a few weeks. Maybe not return to the game, but they're at least going to try it out and stuff.
Agreed. And Fearless and Ceeday, that's going to be the hot names within the Fortnite community because as big as some of those guys that you were talking about, there's Ninja. Like, obviously, nobody's ever going to touch Ninja status on Fortnite and what he was a few years back. But Fearless and Ceeday are on a whole different level of status. Like, it's different because first off, they were YouTubers, not streamers, really. But their popularity, they were massive on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, but it's grown into this like lore. Like, it's grown into this story because they, quote, disappeared. Like, they just vanished off the internet. And so now it's become this thing where when you think of this topic, creators coming back, it's like, oh my gosh, Fearless and Ceeday, are they coming back? And like you said, I don't see it. I do. Let me take that back. I do think Fearless is going to upload a video because he was uploading videos in Chapter 2. It's not like he's been gone for that long.
10 months.
Just the manner. It's just the manner in which he's disappeared. And he's done it twice now. So I think that he'll upload a video because he was in that YouTuber's video. His name was STR Snowball. You can look him up. He put out a video titled I Met Fearless. And Fearless told him that he was working on a Chapter 2 Season 7 video, which obviously was a season ago, so he never uploaded it. But that tells me that he's at least working on it. He just probably is demotivated. You never know what somebody's going through. But to touch on some of the other guys, Courage, I think Courage is one of those guys that is going to be looking for a reason to play Fortnite, but I personally do not see him making a full-time return. I know Cypher kind of thought he might, but I don't see it.
No,
Tim, same
that's
thing.
one
I
thing.
don't see Tim.
That's one thing I really disagreed with Cypher on the video is that he was saying that Courage and Tim and all those guys are gonna make a return or at least give it a real chance. I don't think they are. I mean, if you remember when Courage and Tim tried out Chapter 2 or whatever, whenever they did play it, like they would not, they couldn't even hang in pubs. Like they would not have fun. I mean, if they really wanted to come back to this game, they would have to be at least somewhat decent, and they just aren't. I don't think they would be able to have fun. Like it sort of reminds me of Muselk. Muselk is one of those content creators that's horrible at the game. He's never been good, all that stuff, but he still tries, and I feel, but he does get frustrated. Obviously, he shows it, and I feel like that's exactly what Courage and Tim would be, and that's why they don't do it because they know that they would just be frustrated, or whatever.
No, wait a minute.
I think it would be hard for them to make content on this game.
Let's throw some respect on Courage's. I'm not going to argue with you on Tim the Tap Man. Him and Muselk
are Courage isn't bad. He isn't bad.
Courage, because I think it's hard to remember this, but those guys were playing up until season 3 of Chapter 2. Like, it feels like they've been gone forever. But like Nick Mercs and Courage during season 2, like during the Midas stuff, they were streaming it full time, 12 hours a day, Fortnite. That was before Nick Mercs even started streaming Warzone. Like, but it feels like forever ago because season 2 was
over a year ago, a year and a half.
That was a year and a half ago. So it's been a while. That's why it feels like so long. But in Fortnite timeline, it hasn't been that long. It's been just a few seasons. So I think those guys aren't so far removed. Courage, he's actually, in my opinion, a good player. He just never grinded it after the chapter. Yeah, Tim, he's a content creator. He's a typical content creator. But Nick Mercs is interesting to me because personally, I know he's so big on Warzone, right? Well, not Warzone. He's so big on Apex right now. But like notice he's teetering back and forth. He doesn't know what game he wants to play. He talks crap about Warzone and how boring it is all the time. He goes on Apex and he's gotten better, but like, I'm telling you, man, if they nail Fortnite, here's my bold prediction. Nick Mercs is not only back, but he's back full time. He's in comp. He's playing with, guess who? Aiden. And I think it is a full on splash back into the scene if they put some prize pools back into it, and if it's a good game, because he played FNCS for 2 straight seasons up until season 8. So it's not, he's been gone, but he's been playing it, and he grinded off stream to be able to play with Nate Hill and Cypher PK. So I think Nick Mercs, in my opinion, back Chapter 3 with Aiden. The duo GOAT returns. The controller gods of Fortnite are back.
I think that's one person that pretty much everyone in the Fortnite community could agree with, that we could see Nick Mercs back. I mean, it's like he wants to love this game. It's almost like the case with Ninja. He wants to love this game. But I think Nick Mercs is more than like he's like his love for the game is more than Ninja, because Nick Mercs, he keeps up with the competitive Fortnite. He still watches it like off stream and everything. Like he loves the game. So I feel like if they nail it, which they have to, and they know that. I also want to go into that as well, how they know that. But if they nail it, dude, I think we could see Nick Mercs make a serious return to not only Fortnite but the competitive side of Fortnite. I know people think, oh, that's crazy. He's not even good. This, that, and the other, dude. When you're a gamer like Nick Mercs and you're that dedicated, you're going to get good. Like, and you have that IQ of a pro gamer. Like he's been pro gaming for 15 years. Like you don't lose that touch. He can easily adapt.
No,
and all that stuff. So I'm not really worried about him overcoming the skill gap. But yeah, I mean, we can go into the one thing I wanted to go into, but I want to see what you had to say about the other creators.
Yeah, no, and one last thing on Nick Mercs. I know a lot of people are going to say he has boomer mechanics or anything like that, but like, make no mistake, if Nick Mercs came back and grinded it, every single one of you listening, unless you're a pro, even if you're a pro, Nick Mercs is probably going to body you if you give him just 3 weeks of practice. Like, he's that talented of a natural gamer. Yeah. So let's not make any bones about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as other creators, Ninja, Ninja is already playing it almost full time. He's playing some other stuff. He's playing freaking Uno. He's playing in an Uno competitive tournament. Life comes at you full circle, huh? Full circle. Halo to Uno, but Ninja's weird because Halo releases the day after Chapter 3 is probably going to come out, which is December 7th. Halo come out December 8th. If you don't know, Ninja got his start on the esports scene as a competitive Halo player, and he was one of the best 1v1 Halo players of all time. Like, to this day, maybe the greatest 1v1 god on Halo of all time. And that's where and he's already said he's going to jump into it a little bit competitively and see what the game is about. So it's not with that, it's going to be which game nails it better, because if Halo comes out with a VR and they get a lot of people over and the competitive side's good, we could lose Ninja a little bit. Personally, I think he's going to end up playing Fortnite again full time.
I agree.
Just because Fortnite's a lot, although it's more polarizing, it's also just, there's a lot more to it. Halo can get stale. So unless he did jump on a team and play competitively, after a month, that game as a content creator is going to get stale. But I'm going to let you take over because I don't really know. There's not a ton of other creators that can come back full time. There's a couple, and I'm probably missing them.
I want to touch on a few, and then I want to go into my theory about Epic Games, which is an awesome theory. So you guys have to stay around for that. Okay, so a few more creators that I think could touch the game. Symphony, I don't think he's going to make a real return, but I think he'll probably give the game a chance. I can see that. I think HD High Distortion, I think he's going to give the game a chance. I think he's been playing games off stream. He probably wants to at least try to make a return to streaming. I think we could see that.
He better get good quick if he's going to do that.
Yeah, and I think Dakota's. I think we can see Dakota's 100% make a full-time return. And I don't like XQC. He'll play a game. I don't know about anybody else, but
Doc.
Yeah, Doc will not play Fortnite, but
he'll in my opinion, he'll be just like XQC. He'll play like a game or two because he actually has it in rotation every now and then. I saw him playing this season not too long ago, but that's not. He's a variety streamer.
Yeah,
Symphony is interesting. Symphony plays professionally on Warzone, and he's one of the better Warzone players in the whole world.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Aiden, except for different. Symphony cares a lot more about content than he does, though. And if you remember, he lives with Courage. He lives in the 100 Thieves content house with Courage and his girlfriend Brooke AB. So if Courage gets back into it full time, he collabs with Courage all the time. That could be enough to get him back over a little bit more, just a little bit at a time. And Symphony, in my opinion, outgrew Fortnite. And Cypher went over this. I think he's gotten bigger since Fortnite. That doesn't mean he can't come back, because at this point, Fortnite is no longer making people famous. Fortnite did that at a time, but now it's time for the community to give back if they nail it. I'm not saying they owe Fortnite anything. I'm saying that if these guys come back, it's them kind of repaying Fortnite. Like Fortnite gave them their careers. Now it's time for them to revive Fortnite.
If they nail on the head. And that's a big if. That's the biggest if we're going to hear in Fortnite history. This is the make or break it. This is the make or break it between, is Fortnite going to take that next step? Is Fortnite going to, survive this long drought of, horribleness? I don't even know if that's a word, but are they going to survive this? I don't know if they will, but that's the biggest if you will ever see in Fortnite history. 100%. This is the make or break it for me, at least. But anyways, about my theory with Epic Games. I think this is crazy, but I think after whenever season 4 ended, right when season 4 ended, I think Donald Mustard looked at all of his Epic Games deploys and he said, you know what? We don't have any more plans. We have to start on chapter 3 right now. I think whenever after that season ended, I think he said, all right, it's time. We didn't do our best with chapter 2. I think we just ride it out for a few more seasons in chapter 2. I think we just, let's keep the game steady and, not waste all of our energy in chapter 2. I think we can all agree that we have to scrap it. There's no really way to revive it on this map. And I think we start on chapter 3 right now at the end of season 4. And I think we cut chapter 2 early. And I think they went into chapter 2 thinking, okay, we're going to shout out longer seasons, all this stuff. And their whole entire format it didn't work. And they realized that halfway through after they had 4 good seasons, and they started working on it right then. And that's my theory. I think they've been working on it for a while and they're just riding it out right now. That's what I think.
You know what's funny? I actually agree with you, and I'm going to take it one step further. I don't know if it's after season 4 or when it was. I do 100% agree that they went into this chapter with the plans of having 10 seasons. COVID screwed it up. Some different things that came up financially, the Apple lawsuit screwed it up. Like just some stuff screwed it up, right? And I think at some point, like you said, they flipped. They decided, okay, we have got to release this early. And that is why the last couple of seasons has felt off. And I'm not justifying it, but I am going to give them a little bit of a pass. For example, we had a 10-minute rant on the bunker, the redacted bunker on the map. Personally, I do think that Donald Mustard and his creative team had big plans to reveal that. They teased it for a while. I think they were going to do something bigger. But when they decided to end chapter 2 after this season, they needed to expedite that, and they needed to end that theory, end that storyline, so they could move on. They needed to give you closure, even though it was crap and it just kind of ruined people's hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
I think they needed to end it. So I think that's why it's been kind of stale. That's why some of the storylines have just been either abruptly ended or we haven't heard much from it because we're going into chapter 3. And I think this end event is quietly going. It might not be the best end event from a production standpoint, even though they have gotten better, just pure production.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much every single event. I think this is going to be the biggest storyline event in Fortnite history.
I think we're gonna see like literally like characters either dying or characters like doing something like Jonesy doing something insane or something. Maybe like he's been a face this whole like chapter 1 and chapter 2. He's been a face, like the guy everybody loves. Maybe going into chapter 3, Jonesy turns heel or whatever, and everybody hates him. Yes, it has to be a turning point in the storyline. It has to be something, either they cut off something and start something new, or they just completely twist the storyline that they have right now, and it's gonna be something crazy. But I'm so excited for it. But
yeah,
I don't want to cut you off, but I do. Since we're going into chapter 3, we might as well talk about the World Cup 2022 prize pools. We had a question on Twitter that said, "What do you think the World Cup 2022 prize pools are going to be?" And me and Cren, we have slightly different opinions about this. But Cren, I want to hear yours first, so then I can jump in.
Yeah, so I think I have a different opinion on this than most Fortnite people are going to, because most people in the community have been trained for 2 years to be extremely pessimistic with what Epic Games is going to do. The prize pools have been bad. It's not been bad. Here's the problem. They came out with a bang when they first started doing cash cups and first started doing competitive tournaments, to a point to where no other esport was doing anything like that. If you want to compete in other games, you pretty much have to make a team or you're never going to make it. You're never going to make money. Fortnite was one of the very first games where you could just hop on your computer at your home, compete in a cup, and win money. You don't do that in other games. So Fortnite kind of opened that up. Now you see it a little bit more. And they had insane cash prize pools. Then COVID hit. I think a lot of people blame Epic and say it's because they don't care about the community anymore. I think there's a little bit of that because they're more worried about money. But I also think there's a little bit of COVID. There's a little bit of some other outside factors. And that's why you've seen it go down. Personally, I think World Cup is going to have a massive prize pool similar to that of the first one. Maybe not quite as much. I think it's going to be at least 10 to 15 million. The first one was 33 million, so that's less than half. But I think it's going to be a lot, and I think it could actually get up to that original number of 33 million.
So I agree with you, but I also disagree with you. I think there's definitely a possibility. If they're going to make this a big prize pool, I think they're going to make it bigger than the previous one. If they're going to go that route, but if they're going what I think they're going to do, so as we said, Fortnite came out of the gates. No one could compete, and that's why gaming sucks nowadays. If you guys couldn't figure that out, because no other game can live up to what Fortnite once was. No game can do that. That's why gaming is a little stale right now. But so the prize pools were, I don't even remember what it was exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in between like $30,000 to $60,000. $30,000 to $60,000 for a cash cup. Those are the type of prize pools are those the type of like, that's what first place is getting in grand finals FNCS, okay? Like that's what people are getting in FNCS. Those were cash cups. The tournaments that were held weekly, guys. I don't think you guys realize how big that is compared to now, where first place in a cash cup gets $600. $600. Think about that. The difference between a salary, the average American salary, the difference between an average American salary and an average American paycheck, weekly paycheck. That is what we are seeing in the difference between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So that brings me to my point, to where I don't think it's going to be as big. I think it'll be in the millions, but I think it'll be in the lower millions. But it kind of goes along with my theory of how Epic may have started to work on Chapter 3 earlier than we thought. And maybe they, just wanted to ride out the season and then come out with a bang in Chapter 3 and get back on pace to where they left off in Chapter 1.
Yep. And again, that's what I think is going on. Just what you said there at the end. I could definitely see it being lower, though. All signs point to it being lower. It's just kind of a gut feeling I have.
It's like a theory. It's a theory almost.
Yeah, it's a theory. And I'm a business guy. I'm a marketing guy. And when I look at what Epic's doing, I give them a little more leeway than most people do because I look at it from a business point. So I kind of get some of the things they're doing. But I just think it's going to be a little bit higher than what people are saying, but there is a caveat to this. It's only going to be that high of a price pool if they do it similar to what they did the first time. Because right now, in many parts of the country, COVID is no longer really a factor, but in many other parts, it's still a major factor. So my question is going to be, are they going to be able, just from a PR standpoint, to put it back into a massive stadium in New York, in LA, in somewhere like that, and get the best players from the world to come in, put them all in hotels just like they did the last time, and just make it a massive event? Because if they are, I don't see them putting on a grand event like that without doing a massive prize pool.
True.
But if they go the virtual route and do it maybe at a closed venue, maybe because you can't do a World Cup if it's not a LAN. It's got to be a LAN competition. It's got to be in person. But if they got them all where there was no crowd and it was just the people playing, much, much smaller, because you're not going to get the airtime. You're not going to get the sponsorships. You're not going to get the money. So it's going to depend on that. But here's a bold theory. I know we're going to move into some other stuff in a second, but I do have a bold prediction. If Fortnite World Cup comes back in the summer, which most people think it will, and they do it similar to last time, they do it in Madison Square Garden in New York. It's massive, stadium filled up. Courage JD is back, doing the call, whatever the case is. I think there's a chance that it goes bigger this time. And what I mean by that is you're scrolling, Joe Schmo in Indiana is scrolling through their TV, right? They land on ESPN2 and there's a Fortnite tournament. My bold prediction is, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be on ESPN, but they are going to land a major TV deal to where Fortnite World Cup is going to break the boundaries of esports and sports, and it's going to be on a TV network. At some point, what other game better than Fortnite, who has broken the boundaries from everything else in the past and opened up the world of gaming to the normal world? What better game to do it with esports?
You know what, Cren?
I'm just telling you.
You know what? I love that you just brought that up. I love it because this brings me on to a topic. Okay, when you're at home, okay, I don't care what game you play. Okay, when you're at home, what game do you think of when you say, "Oh, I want to watch someone game"? Nick Merckx doesn't even play Fortnite, and he watches Fortnite like from his bed when he's not even streaming for fun. People watch Fortnite and they think it's entertaining because it's such a unique game. Nobody's going to turn on the TV and say, you know what? I want to watch League of Legends today. You know what I'm saying? I turn on that game and I look at like a map or something that I don't even know how to read. Like it's so complicated. Like nobody's going to turn on any other game besides maybe like Call of Duty or something. But you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's like Fortnite is the perfect game. Like you said, it's the perfect game. And they're the type of company to do that. They're the type of company to go over to some TV station or TV, whatever business. I don't know. And
network.
Network. Partner up with them and get a World Cup deal. And this, again, I kind of changed my mind now because I don't think they're gonna have a World Cup unless it's gonna be huge. So I'm kind of leaning more towards your theory where they're gonna do it massive. And if they are, by the way, I'm gonna be there, so you better be there too as well if you want to get some pictures. The gamers then host and all that stuff. Anyways, I'm probably gonna be playing in it, but I do think now that you say that honestly like triggers something in me. Like I don't think we're going to be season TV right away, but I do think like they're going to be going that way. And I think they might break the boundary of the first esport going onto TV. I think 100%. But like you said, I think the World Cup is going to be massive now. Now that you say that, I think it's going to be massive.
Yeah, and my justification for that is I've been on ESPN multiple times, and I see cornhole tournaments, and I see these tournaments that are not traditional sports. And if you're going to show that, you cannot tell me that a cornhole tournament gets better TV ratings than the Fortnite World Cup.
Oh
100,000 people tune into a single person's stream. Ninja had 800,000 people watching him play at
Gref had 1.3 million.
Yeah.
And that's more than like all like most games on Twitch combined.
And that's the thing that people don't understand outside of this space. 1 million people watching one person
is
outrageous. Here's the thing. TV, I'm a big college football guy, right? TV ratings for college football on a national primetime stage, 1 million it's not the high end. Some of them get to way above that, but 1 million is about the average, like for a really good high end clash in college football. NFL is about 2 to 3 million. So that's total throughout the entire game. That's not concurrent viewers. That's total for a freaking NFL game. And one streamer got that at one time. That was 1.3 million concurrently. He had like 2.5 million throughout different people throughout the whole stream. So like, what are we talking about? You can't tell me that.
What are these cornhole tournaments getting? Like, what, 40,000 people? Like, all these, there's boomers with their freaking coffee, Like, there's no way that cornhole tournament is pulling numbers like competitive Fortnite. I'm saying it right now. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
The only thing holding back esports being on a main stage, or a lot of those networks, in their opinion, their demographic are 40 to 60-year-olds. And until that starts to slowly go away, which we're seeing it slowly go away, they're going to continue to show traditional sports because that's what they want to watch. And I get it. Me and you are both big sports fans. We never want to see sports go away.
No, ever. No.
But I think we're on the same page in that at some point
I would love to see Fortnite. So when I go on ESPN, I go to channel 140. This is on Dish. Channel 140, is main channel. 141's like a lower channel, 142, whatever, 143. When I go to like 144 or 130, 143, I want to see Fortnite right there. Like on the lower end of the ESPN, whatever. I want to see an esports section on ESPN. That's what I want to see one day. And I think it doesn't have to be Fortnite either. I want to see esports in general. But
esports,
I want to see that one day. And God, now that you bring that up, like, think about it, guys. Think about this for just a second. Look at the companies that Donald Mustard has worked with. Disney, Marvel, like all of these
DC,
insane, companies, whatever. There's no way he can't go out and grab a TV deal. There's no way. If he's working with Disney, like what?
Yeah. And guys, this is just kind of a theory. We don't have any inside information on this, but I really do think, and it's not just Fortnite, it's just esports in general. I think you've seen the ground being paved for it, because during COVID, there were moments on ESPN where they had nothing to show. So they streamed professional athletes playing NFL or playing Madden or playing, hockey, NHL, or playing different games. So you're already starting to see it. And I think that's kind of them dipping their toes into it. And eventually the money's going to talk, because that's all these people care about. The money's going to talk, and they're going to see that, holy crap, a game like Fortnite is going to get me incredible ratings, and we're going to make a lot of money. But so, sorry, I'm kind of caught up on that. I'm still
no. I have something to say too.
Could ever be on ESPN just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
I forget what I was going to say too, but I had something to say. Like, I just went blank. You have to pick it up, Gren. I totally went blank.
Yeah, so well, let's wrap up the World Cup thing. I think it's going to be a big prize pool because of that.
Wait,
and
I got my thing. I got my thought back. So, guys,
great podcasting, guys.
I want you guys to realize at home that like right now, when you see Twitch and you see these streaming platforms, that they are in the early stages. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not like we. I know it doesn't seem like it, but like we are a small community on Twitch. Like, in just gaming in general. Like, I genuinely think that we're in the beginning stages of it. Like, I know it doesn't seem like it because you see a million viewers watching this guy, but like we are 100% in the beginning stages of streaming, and as that popularity grows, like all these boomers are hearing about it, and they're gonna start talking, and people are gonna realize that this is the next big thing. And I don't think people have realized that yet. At least a lot of people. I truly do believe that streaming is in the beginning stages, and that's why we haven't seen a big move like that to TV.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you bring that up. That's something that I think us in this space failed to realize sometimes, because it feels like so many people, we sit here and we talk about Fortnite, we talk about esports, we talk about the whole industry. It's still very niche. Like if you're looking at it from a world landscape, and especially here in the States, it is a very small percentage of people who are in this industry and who understand it. And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of people listening to this are probably younger, probably teenagers, younger teenagers. And your circle of friends all know who Boog is, Mongrel, Clicks. Like, you know who these guys are. You follow competitive Fortnite, and if you don't, you at least know who Ninja is. Like, right? If you step outside of your circle and talk to people who, like, just the vast majority, if you walk down the street and talk to people, they don't know this stuff. This is a very niche community, but it's getting bigger and bigger by the day, and it's becoming a bigger brand. We talked about last week, FaZe Clan merged and received a $1 billion valuation. They're going live on NASDAQ on the US stock market in February. And that is a small step. I mean, that's a big step. That's a massive step. But you start to see the beginning groundworks of this thing really taking off. And it looks very similar if you look back at the beginning of basketball in America or the beginning of American football. It looks very similar because those things started out very small too. The funny thing is, football and basketball are the same as gaming as how it started out. The older people scolded young people for playing it. They were like, you're wasting your time playing a game. It's dumb. You need to get a job. Same thing. It's literally the same thing.
It is.
I'm telling you, within 10 to 15 years, there's going to be collegiate esports, and professional esports is going to look a lot more like professional sports do right now.
I'm gonna go bold, and I'm gonna say within 5 to 10 years. That's what I think. I think it's gonna happen sooner than we think. Honestly, it
makes sense.
It's
things
progressing
faster
faster
now because of technology.
Exactly.
So things move quicker now.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. Let's go into we've discussed Fortnite a lot, and we'll wrap it up at the end of the podcast and kind of discuss some just community news within content and gaming. But one thing I do want to talk about is me and you have both kind of gone on TikTok and created a couple of our own theories. I want to jump into how I think personally the Season 8 event is going to go and how we're going to go into Chapter 3. And I know you think a little bit differently, but keep in mind, we both have theories. And I think I myself have a couple of theories that could happen. But my favorite theory is, and it's not something I came up with, it's something that just a lot of people in the community think, and I've kind of pieced it all together into one theory. So personally, I think that if you look back at Bunker Jonesy, so if you remember in Chapter 1 of Fortnite, Jonesy got locked in the cave with Peely. Things happen, and we end up getting Neo tilted and Mega Mall and all of that. They came out. If you remember, he was Bunker Jonesy. But if you remember, there was a loading screen of Bunker Jonesy and a wall, like a cave painting that he made, and he was pointing at it. And that ended up pointing to the robot versus monster event. It's predicted a lot of stuff. And it shows that Epic has been planning the stuff that they're doing for years, pretty much from the very beginning, which in my opinion is so cool. But one thing that Bunker Jonesy told us is that the reboot vans are incredibly important. And up until now, we've never really thought about that. But this season in particular, the reboot vans have moved around. Pretty much every update, every patch, they've moved. And I thought that was just kind of weird. It didn't really make sense. But like now that you start to look at it, you remember how the season 7 event ended? You know, the cube went haywire and it looked like we were going to die. Sloan left us, right? What did we do? We rebooted the cube and it turned into Blevin. Well, now on the map, the Cube Queen is hovering in the Convergence Cube Town, and all the cubes on the map are going to her. The only cube that's not going to her is the blue cube. It stayed in the same spot the entire season. So what I think is going to happen is the Cube Queen is going to get her power. She's going to, you know, take her little wand thing and end our reality. She's going to succeed in her mind because she doesn't realize that Blevin is on the map. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to actually go to it. And it's going to be our kind of our last ditch Hail Mary. We're going to reboot the island. But with that reboot of the island, it's going to be very similar to what the 7 did when they protected the 0 point in chapter 1 season X. And by saving the island or this reality, it completely altered it and we went to another island. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. By rebooting it, we're going to actually have to sacrifice this island, which is what the Foundation is talking about. He's not talking about it's going to sacrifice him. We're going to have to sacrifice this island. That's my theory.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought it up, but just to clarify, guys, I haven't researched any end-event theories yet, but I do have an idea of like what's going to happen. But I'm supposed to be the theory king, so I'm kind of mad that I don't have my theory set in stone yet. But I do want to say something that's like, you know, kind of stupid, but kind of interesting. Do you think they planned Blevin as in like Tyler Blevins? Like, I don't know. Hey,
bro, I thought about that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The blue hair, the ninja. Ninja's all blue. Blevin, Tyler Blevin, ninja.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying, you know?
Wow, bro. And Ninja came back playing it pretty much full time right after that.
I'm just saying. But anyways, guys, Cren, his theory.
All I'm asking is, have you ever seen Donald Mustard and Ninja in the same place? That's all I'm asking.
Never.
No, but continue.
Okay. Anyways, so Cren's theory was like complex. You know, it's what theory people do. Blah 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 blah. Since I don't have my complex theory yet, I'm just gonna say what the basic theory is going to be and what's probably going to happen because you know usually Fortnite gives us a semi-basic theory, or at least to us it's like basic to me and Cren because we're like deep thinkers or whatever when it comes to this stuff. But whenever I get a complex theory, I make one. But this is what I think is actually going to happen. So I don't really know a ton about the Cube Queen. I don't think anybody does realistically. Like, it's season 7 or season 8, chapter 2. Nobody really cares in general. But nobody really cares. But anyways, I think the Cube Queen is going to take all these cubes that she's been gathering around in the whole entire map, whatever. And I think she's going to use some sort of power to take these cubes and just explode it. Like she's going to succeed. Like Cren said, he thinks he thinks that she's going to fail, whatever. I think she's going to succeed and blow up the entire map. And, you know, something's going to happen to where like we fall in the middle where the convergence is. I think there might be a hole right there, like below it when it explodes. And that has something to do with the chapter 6 or 5 season trailer, wherever the hole was, where we went up to chapter 2, season 5 map.
Yep.
And, you know, all that stuff will go to the flip side. So that's what I think is going to happen, as in like the basic, you know, epic storyline, blah, 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 blah. Now, obviously, I'll make a complex theory, but I think what's realistically going to happen is that what I just said. Like right there, what I just said, I think that's probably going to happen.
Yep. So I do have to ask you one thing. And I know this is a very sensitive topic within the community. And it's going to make some people mad because they're like, please just stop talking about it. But I do have to ask.
I know exactly what you're going to ask.
What's the percentage that, you know, the end event happens. We go into a black hole, whatever. We wake up. We update the game. What is the percentage that we jump out of the battle bus and it is the original map, but different?
But with all
What's the
that,
percentage?
with all the
with the updated mechanics,
yeah.
like newly written map,
swimming,
but
blah blah blah.
it's
But it's the
layout.
old map. It's the old map, but modern almost.
Like imagine swimming at Loot Lake.
Yeah, I know. And I'm gonna tell you the percentage right now. And I think maybe some people are gonna be surprised. Maybe some people aren't gonna be surprised at this percentage. Okay. But honestly, I'm not even joking. I think a 20% chance.
Ooh.
And I don't, and that doesn't, I don't think it's going to happen whatsoever. But just because of the basic words, the flip side, the opposite of Apollo is Athena, all of that stuff. I know Artemis, all that stuff, whatever. But
yeah,
the fact that we haven't seen, or we haven't really heard much about these leakers talking about the actual map. We've seen some concepts, this, that, and the other, but we haven't really, I don't think, at least unless I'm out of the loop, I don't think we've seen many leakers talk about what's going to be on the, I don't think we've seen many leakers talk about what's going to be on the Chapter 3 map, or if there's going to be a Chapter 3 map, whatever. I think they're trying to low-key hide it a little bit, and I would, I'm just saying this right now. I know what every single person's saying at home. Oh, it's gonna come back. It's gonna be good for a month, and then it's gonna go. I don't care about that. Okay, I could care less. The fact of the matter is, if they're playing this, how I think they might be playing this, 20% chance how they might be playing this, and they're taking it slow, giving us hints that it's gonna be Chapter 3, new map, new this, new that, everything, and they come out and show the old map. Do you guys have? I know you don't have an idea. That's why I'm asking you. But do you have any idea how big that would be? Do you have any idea whatsoever? That would be like the biggest thing, like one of the biggest things in gaming history ever. Like bringing back what brought Fortnite to where it is. And I know like it's 20% chance, blah blah blah. But just for the fact of the matter that the simple words are the flip side, like. I could see us going back to the old map, and it'd be totally different, but it's the old map. And let me make it clear real quick before Crane cuts me off. I don't think this is going to happen whatsoever. I don't. I think we're 100% going to have a Chapter 3 map, all that stuff. But I think there is a 20% chance that maybe, just maybe, that could happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. Logistically, it doesn't make sense, and I don't think they're ever going to bring back the original map. I mean, maybe eventually for like a nostalgic LTM or something once they get the ability to do multiple maps, kind of like Rebirth and Warzone. But let's just play into this for a second. Let's have some fun. Let's just pretend, a guy can dream, right? I do want to bring up a tweet. We made fun of this a while back, and it seemed like, because Donald Mustard is a human being. People try to read into everything he does and says, but there's something we need to talk about. And at first, when I saw this tweet, he's tweeted a couple of random things lately. And I was like, he's just living life. He's just talking random about life, and people are looking into it with Fortnite because he's the creative chief officer of Fortnite, chief creative officer. But when I've gone through his Twitter, and I had a couple of YouTubers I saw them break it down where he doesn't, everything he tweets is cryptic. Even at the time that we thought it wasn't, it's cryptic. So I made fun of this at first, but I'm going to read you guys a tweet. And then I'm going to explain to you what it could mean. It could just mean this could be crenbeast reading into a tweet that has nothing to do with Fortnite. But I genuinely believe it is something to do with Fortnite because he does this with everything he does. It's cryptic, and he is a psychopath. And
he's the type of person. Wait, hold on. Before you continue, he's the type of person.
Yeah.
He's the type of person to do this. By the way, he's the type of person to say something stupid that's nothing to do with Fortnite, that has something to do with Fortnite in a big way. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, he's two things. He's wacky, he's weird, and he's a genius. Like in a good way. Like he is a marketing genius, and he is a creative genius. But let me read this for you guys. So Donald Mustard, stick with me because it's a ridiculous tweet. He says, "Did you ever have the most perfect pair of jeans ever? And then one day they inexplicably disappeared, and you were like, I bet they, in quotations, they are to blame. Yeah, that one. The one that didn't like them. But I loved them. They made me feel great and comfy." And, you know,
That is
first I was just like,
oh my God, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, at first I was just like, dude, that, he's talking about jeans, whatever. But I started to look into it, and shout out again to the Camping Rusher on YouTube. He actually changed my mind on it because he showed a couple of concepts of what it could mean. And listen to me. Listen to it one more time. I'm going to break it down. Did you ever have the most perfect pair of jeans ever? Just think about that in relation to Fortnite. And then one day they inexplicably disappeared. It went away. And you were like, I bet they are to blame. Yeah, that one. The one that didn't like them. But I loved them. And they made me feel great and comfy. And then he hashtag miss you perfect pair of jeans.
Guys, he's talking about the old map, man. That's obvious.
Yeah, no, I agree. But here's the interesting part. Right below it, he commented on it and said also, real pants, quote, can only be so great compared to the truth of, quote, athletic wear. And so I read that and I was like, he's just talking about freaking pants. Donald, what are you doing, my guy? But the more I've looked into it, and again, this is going to sound like, let me put my tinfoil cap on it and just go
yeah, we sound like idiots.
But I'm telling you guys, and look, if you guys give us crap, I want you to go just spam these hate comments on Code the Camping Rushers YouTube because he said it first. Don't blame me. I'm just kidding. He's a great dude. But I'm telling you, I truly believe that is a reference to the old map. And I think the second tweet is referring to, I think the next map is not going to be the old map. I think it's going to be a blend. I think it's going to be a similar form to the old map with new stuff, not only with mechanics from this map, but even new stuff. So it's probably not going to really look like the old map, but it's going to have some feels of it. Maybe the same shape, something, because I think when he went into the athletic wear talk, what he was talking about was, the old map was just a casual pair. It was the original, it was your favorite pair of jeans, but then you grew up. Then you had to put the business pants on. You had to go to work. You grew up a little bit. And then somewhere right in the middle is athletic wear. Athleisure looks good, feel good. And I think that's where we're going. I think the next map, I think that was an allusion to the next map.
Dude, we sound clinically insane. We sound insane right now. But listen to me. Listen to me.
Donald Mustard's insane.
You know what you said there? You said comfy. What made you feel comfy? Now you tell me, sitting at home right now, what kind of pants make you feel comfortable? For me, I love wearing athletic pants, man. I really do. Yeah. And let's think about this for a little bit. He talks about old pants, new pants, and in the middle pants, okay? What's going to make you comfortable? Some people like chapter 2 better. Most people like chapter 1 better. What's going to make you comfortable? Why not meet in the middle and add a little touch, just a little touch of the old feel? That way we feel comfortable. And
exactly.
Now I don't know what to say besides I'm going to make a TikTok on that, but I think that's just like that. First of all, that's the genius marketing by Donald Mustard. That's if this is what we think it is, this is the most genius marketing I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and he's just insanely smart. And I'm so glad that I'm so glad that he's in charge of my game. I really am. Even though I've talked the most crap you will ever hear someone talk crap about someone else in the world, I still think Donald Mustard's a great whatever. But oh my God, now that we're talking about it in real time, wow. I think that's true, 100%.
Yeah, no, I think it is too. And again, the first time I read it, I was like, dude, that's not Fortnite because that just sounds insane. But like after I've seen a few people break it down and talk about it, I truly believe he was hinting. And let me back it up a little bit. This is what he does. If you don't know, this is what Donald Mustard does. He also tweeted a photo recently. And it's just him. It looks like maybe he took a hike. That's what I thought. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's on his Twitter. It's like it's a lake, or I don't actually know. It looks like it's maybe the bay outside of New York City. I can't really tell. I thought he was just kind of walking around, took a cool picture. But the more I looked at it, I don't think he took this picture. I think he tweeted it as a hint, and here's why. It looks like a cool picture. It's a bay, it's a city skyline in the background, but right in the middle, there's a massive bridge going across the bay. And right in the middle of the bridge is completely broken. What else? What other bridge is broken right now?
Oh my god, man, that is hilarious, dude.
Donald, and that's true. Like that, if you don't think that is a leak or a hint or a teaser, then you're just out of your mind.
He's not going to take a picture of a freaking mountain bike on his Twitter with 1 million followers that all relate to Fortnite.
Yeah, I know. That's referring to the bridge between
realities.
The other reality. The 0 point is the base point of all realities connecting. There's a bridge to it. That's what he's referring to, because the bridge is supposedly breaking right now or broken. So that's how Jonesy ended up on our map. But anyway, that I'm backing my point up to where everything he tweets is cryptic, even when you think it's not. So if you ever want to kind of find a theory or find something on Fortnite, just go to Donald Mustard's Twitter. I promise you'll find something between his header, his location on Twitter, or some of his tweets. They're wild. They're out there. But every single time when we look back at it afterwards, he teased it. It was right in front of our face, and we didn't look at it. So I'm just telling you, the jeans tweet and that picture is something important. And we might be off about what it means, but it's something important.
100%.
But
especially especially since let's stop the BS here. Especially since we're talking about Chapter 3 and how it's 100% going to happen. Obviously, Donald Mustard's not going to hint at it at all. Obviously, but he's going to hint at it secretly if it's actually going to happen. He's not going to tweet about a pair of jeans a month before Chapter 3 is going to happen if he's trying to do a marketing move of not to make it known that it's actually happening, Yeah,
and the verbiage of that tweet was just so weird. Nobody talks like that in real life.
He quoted "they" what?
Yeah, it's absolutely cryptic, but. So I think we've had enough Fortnite talk. Chapter 3 is coming. If you don't believe us, comment right now on YouTube, wherever
so I can comment on your comment saying that you're wrong.
We'll leave it alone. We'll give it to you. But when Chapter 3 comes out, we're ratioing the crap out of you, every single one of you. So do it. I dare you. And on that note,
triple dog dare you.
Remind you guys. Yeah, triple dog dare you. I do want to remind you guys, we are on YouTube Live. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, if you want to hang out with us, not hang out with us, it's not live. But we are on YouTube. If you want to see the video version of us, it's just The Gamers Den. We're on TikTok, TheGamers_Den. Same on Twitter, TheGamers_Den. And you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts. If there is a place that you typically listen to podcasts and we're not on, please let us know. I promise you we will get it on if you ask. But we're going to close this up with a little bit of just generic talk about esports. But before we do that, is there anything else you want to hit on Fortnite?
I just wanted to say that I take back everything I ever said about Donald Mustard. I'd love to collab with him. And also, I understand why Chapter 2 is boring, because they're preparing for Chapter 3. And Chapter 3 is going to be a revival of Fortnite Battle Royale. That's all I wanted to say.
And one more thing, I do want to apologize to the League of Legends community for Relay's slur.
I don't apologize.
Nope, you guys are fantastic. And if you are part of that community, welcome. We love you.
Guys, it was a joke.
Your game is horrible, but we do love you. And we accept you, even if you do not like Fortnite. I promise future episodes will not be all Fortnite similar to this one. We'll get into some other stuff. But
it's mostly because Chapter 3, we have to hammer that home.
It's a big deal.
We got to hype it up because nobody else is, and nobody else realizes that it's happening.
It's a big deal. And but on that note, I do want to kind of jump into just some basic topics throughout the community. So if you haven't seen, Mr. Beast is preparing to host a Squid Game.
Oh my God.
If you haven't seen Squid Games on Netflix, basically it is a Korean film. It was dubbed for English, but it was a Korean film where basically a bunch of people that were in debt were invited to compete in games, and the winner was going to take home billions and billions of wine, which came up to millions and millions of dollars in U.S. currency. And what they didn't realize when they got there, they signed a contract that, if you lose the game, you'll be eliminated. Then, you lose the game, you're eliminated. You think you're just going to go home. Well, the people were literally like killed. Like, obviously this is based off a book. It's not, it's not real, but very popular. It kind of, I'm sure you've seen it. Unless you live under a rock, you know what it is. Mr. Beast is recreating that. Yeah, I would encourage you to go search it and look at it. It's pretty cool. He's got the big baby doll thing. It looks exactly like Squid Games. Mr. Beast is just on another level of content.
On a level that we've never seen.
In my opinion, and I know before the podcast Relay, we were kind of discussing who might be some of the greatest content creators of all time. I didn't really, we discussed somebody else and we'll get into that. But I personally, now that I'm thinking about it, Mr. Beast, in my opinion, is the greatest content creator of all time. And
content creator,
this is a short thing.
Yeah, content creator.
Content's just been a thing, like and as far as online content, it's only been a thing for a little over a decade, so it's kind of a small sample size. More people will come out, but he's the greatest in my opinion. The way he does it, he puts so much money into every video production wise, and it's all about entertainment and it's all about content.
Speaking of that,
person who does it to his level.
Well, you can't, by the way. But speaking of the money, I heard him tweet that I saw him tweet about the Squid Game project or whatever, and he said that, wow, this went way over budget. He said, I did not expect this. So I don't know what that is because his budget's obviously insane, but I'm assuming like $5 million plus.
Are millions for one YouTube.
I'm assuming this
one video.
I'm assuming this is like 5-10 million over that probably. I mean,
probably more than that because I don't know exactly what he's doing, but I assume he's doing a series on it, probably not just one video. So I don't know.
If it is one video, it's going to be over an hour long, and that's going to be.
And supposedly he got all 400 and whatever. It's like 456, I think, is the number of people. I think 456 was the guy in Squid Games. I think he got that many people to participate. So there's no way you do that in one episode. That's like a series, 5 episodes.
Has to be, dude. Has to be.
But yeah, so I just kind of thought that was crazy. This man has been breaking the boundaries of content and creating and kind of merging, YouTube and the digital space with the real world. And he's kind of doing a great job with that. I mean, you already have Mr. Beast Burger. You have so many other things. It's really fun to watch the world that we love to live in kind of start to become mainstream, because in our minds it's been mainstream, but in reality it hasn't been. But now you're starting to see content creators be actual celebrities. And to me, that is cool. Like Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I don't want to get Relay started on the Paul brothers because we actually agree on this, but that's Relay's dudes.
Yeah. I mean, no, I do want to touch on him a little bit just because like we just talked about Mr. Beast, probably the greatest YouTuber we will ever see. Just YouTuber in general. We're just talking about YouTube. I want to preface just YouTube. But if we're going to talk about the greatest creator to ever touch the platform, first of all, both Proud brothers are, just insane at what they do, marketing, whatever. But I mean, Logan Paul, I'm not going to go too far into this, but Logan Paul has dominated everything he's ever done in this world. Like, as far as when he's been online, he's dominated everything. For example, Vine, absolutely dominated it. YouTube, dominated it. Podcasts, dominating it right now. He still is, for years. And now he's dominating a sport, and he's an actor, all this.
But yes, he's very good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like, and he's an actor, all this stuff. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And he went from a guy like me and Cren, where we're just making short films, and now he's one of the most known people in the world. And we can talk about how he did get buried in cancel culture, like completely. Like, he's the only person who's ever been completely buried, like 100%, and come back out of it. First of all, a better person and even better creator, way bigger creator as well.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to get mad at this because the Paul brothers are very polarizing. A lot of people let's just be real. A lot of people think they're both douchebags, but I'm going to be real with you. In 2021, if you still have the outlook on Logan Paul that you did 5 years ago, then you haven't been paying attention. I encourage you to go listen to his podcast, to go listen to him in the real world talk about stuff, not just when he's doing his bits. He is a genuinely good dude who has a great message for young people. And if you just listen to him, you can get some real life advice on how you can move forward in this space, because he gives some good advice and he's just a good dude. Like, you can talk whatever you want about him. And maybe at one point he had some issues, but like, you never know what somebody's going through in their life. And that's true with any creator. A lot of creators, they're hated, they're villainized, they do stupid things, but you genuinely have no clue what they're going through. So I know I kind of got off topic there for a second, just bringing it back to the Paul brothers. Think twice before you judge somebody, because those dudes, most of what they do especially Jake, is completely an act, because people comment on it. People feed that. They call it.
I don't think most. I think pretty much everything that Jake does is an act. I really do think that.
Yeah, it's an act because it works and he's making money. And because, again, if you go to podcasts and you go to them when they're not acting, completely different people. They sound 10 times smarter than you probably realize they are. Which, I mean, they're geniuses, by the way.
Logan's vocabulary is like out of this world. Half the stuff he says, I don't even know what it means. I mean, it's just like, and you'll never know that. You'll never know that. People don't talk about that. It's on his podcast.
No, and this, I can see this right here, what I'm about to say, being clipped and people making fun of me. So I want to preface that. But Logan Paul is a genius. And I'm not saying he's freaking Einstein and he's like a genius in that sense, but in a sense of relating to people and being able to problem solve and just create things that other people don't see. He's a genius, dude. He really is. And if you don't respect that, then you are probably never going to make it as a content creator if that's your goal. If you think someone like Logan Paul is wrong or not smart, then you're never going to make it because you don't get it.
Every content creator, no, that's a fact. Every content creator knows that Logan Paul literally owns the scene. Like, he is like you see how the ninja is, the face of Fortnite. In my opinion, like, Logan Paul,
the face of gaming.
Yeah, face of gaming. Like, Logan Paul is the face of content creation, in my opinion. And a lot of people still hate him. You can hate on him all you want, but in reality, like, he came back from one of the biggest, or from one of the hardest things, like probably the hardest thing to do in the content creation scene. Like, he got canceled, guys. Like, it's not like, oh, he's getting talked about being canceled. He got canceled, like, completely. He blacked out for a whole entire like month and a half. Like, he was gone, and like, no, like, hardly.
Yep.
Probably no one else can do that, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And he played his cards perfectly, because what he did was bad. And after it happened, he laid low. He didn't combat it. He didn't try to, say it was not his fault. He laid low. He didn't do anything. And then once he came back, he admitted, dude, I messed up. That was wrong with me. I was an idiot kid. He did everything right. And I don't think it was an act. I think it was him growing up. And I think ever since then, you've seen that he's a good dude. He made a bad mistake. He got canceled. And he's gotten bigger, like 20 times bigger than he was. But yeah. I do want to throw some respect on one YouTuber, because I know a lot of you are listening to us. We talked about Mr. Beast being the greatest YouTuber of all time. We talked about Logan Paul possibly being the greatest content creator just overall of all time. I do want to throw some respect on PewDiePie's name, because PewDiePie, if you're going on sheer numbers, he's by far the greatest of all time. Oh, yeah. But not even close. And here's what I mean by that. Mr. Beast, let me see how many subs Mr. Beast has. I think he's at about 70 million, if I'm not mistaken. So Mr. Beast right now is 74.5 million subscribers. Sorry, an ad just popped up on my thing. And PewDiePie, for example, is at 110 million. And to think that anybody has Mr. Beast beat by almost 40 million subscribers,
it's out of this world.
Is unbelievable. And it's twofold. PewDiePie's been doing this for so long. He's one of the OG, especially gaming YouTubers. He was there from the very beginning. Like
before 2010, right? Or no?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. He was on YouTube when YouTube was nothing but blurry 480 Like it was just like, it wasn't, people did not create content on YouTube. They just took videos and uploaded it that they thought were like cool or funny for their friends, and some of them went viral. That's what YouTube was. There was no ads, there was no money, there was no production. And PewDiePie was one of the first early adapters to be like, dude, like I can record myself playing games, or I can record myself doing these things, and I can put it on this new thing called YouTube. And so he was one of the first people to hit millions and millions of subs. And since then, he's done everything right. A lot of those people faded out, and just, you don't hear from them anymore. Sky does Minecraft, like some guys like that. And he's still here. And not only is he still here, he owns YouTube. I mean, just go look at his channel. He doesn't pull the views that Mr. Beast does, because PewDiePie uploads a lot more. He uploads pretty much daily, or he does upload daily.
That's insane, by the way, how he's still doing that when he's that successful. Like PewDiePie could have retired probably at least 5 years ago, probably. I don't know. But he could have retired
with his views. He probably could have retired 6 months into ads being put on YouTube. Like, let's just be completely real. His sponsorships and what he does, he has, and I think a lot of people listening to this are in the States. In fact, I know it is, because I look at our data. A lot of you are in the United States. And PewDiePie is a little different from Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast is worldwide, but he's a lot bigger in the States than he is everywhere else. And PewDiePie is actually bigger in other places because he's not American. So PewDiePie is worldwide. Worldwide, like, I don't think anybody's ever going to touch what Ninja hit at his peak. Like, Ninja at his peak did something I don't think we're ever going to see again until gaming hits mainstream esports competitively. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. But PewDiePie overall is much bigger than Ninja or any of those guys that we could think in the gaming scene. Like, he has so much more pull than any other gamer that you can.
And it doesn't seem like that because, he's worldwide. Like, we're just, whatever in this certain area.
I mean, America is 300 million people. There's 7 billion people in the world. Like, fill the gap. Like,
110 million subscribers. Like, that's 1/3 of America.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, dude.
Yeah. And that's just subs, YouTube, like my YouTube videos, for example, 99.2% of people are not subscribed. And it usually sticks around 90%. Usually 90% of people who watch bigger creators' YouTube videos are not subbed. So that doesn't mean he only has 110 people. I would venture to say 1 billion people on planet Earth know who PewDiePie is. Or probably more than that. Probably more than that. But that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
He has a lot of people. But anyway, I just want to throw some respect on PewDiePie's name because he's massive. I guess it's about time to wrap up. Before we do, is there anything else that you want to touch on?
Nope. I think we first of all had a great podcast. Appreciate you guys if you're still listening, staying this far. But yeah, I love the points that we hit today. I definitely think, in future podcasts we can take these points that we talked about today and, go even more in depth. But yeah, I thought we had a great podcast.
Yep, agreed. All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. I do want to shout out to our lovely sponsor on the show, you. That's right, you. If you're listening to this and you want to sponsor the Gamers In podcast, please reach out. We are taking all applications, no matter if you are a individual brand or a company. We will talk to you. But with that, make sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasting. If you are on YouTube, like, sub, leave a comment, and let us know what you want to talk. Let us know what you want us to talk about next time. We'd love to get into it. If you do leave a comment, we will say your name and shout you out. Also, I do have a quick shout out before we close up. Last podcast, Relay went into who he thought was the greatest Fortnite player of all time, and we put out a soundbite of who it might be. And Relay ended up saying Booga. So, we put out the soundbite on the Gamers Den podcast, the Gamers_Den on Twitter. Go follow us. And we did a competition. Whoever guessed who he was talking about correctly, we would shout you out. So Shun at QT Shun, that's letter Q, letter T, SHUNN. Go give him a follow. He got it right. He did say Booga. I'm also looking. His Instagram is Zach.Rosati. That's Zach with a CH.ROSATI. Go give him a follow. Congratulations on getting that correct. But with that, we're going to peace out, and you guys have a great day.